Hello and welcome to another session in English language. In this session, we'll be looking at spellings, majorly British and American English. But before that, let us review our previous lesson. Welcome back. Like I said earlier, we are going to be looking at an integral part of English today, which is spelling. Okay, and we're going to focus on British spelling and American spelling. And we know anybody from Britain is British. Okay, and anyone who is from America is American. Just the same way anyone from Gambia is what? A Gambian. Right? So that brings us to what we're focusing on today, British and American English. So we know that there are quite different or variety in our spellings today, and it's almost confusing to students that we can almost have an argument over spellings. So that's why I'm here today as your English instructor to make that clarification on certain words, the way they are spelled. Okay, and especially some of us who have access to a personal computer, you'll notice that sometimes you spell certain words and the computer highlights that word. It depends on the spec of computer. Okay, let's deal with the one. So, in Britain or British English spells specialization with the S. Okay, spells specialization with the S. Okay, so it's spelled specialization. That's specialization. But in American English, it changes the S to a letter Z. Okay, changes the S, letter S to letter Z in the word specialization. We also have it in the word, colonize. Okay, and it changes in American English to colonize. Then we also have a word like apologize. Let me write that here. Apologize. Apologize. This is British and American will spell apologize with a letter Z. Okay. And we also have words like centralize. Centralize. Okay. This is British and American will spell with the Z. Centralize. Okay. So these among so many other examples. Okay, as you can see, we have also mechanize, we have economize. Even though they are spelled with the S, they are pronounced as S. Okay, they are pronounced as this. This consonant sound represented by this phonetic symbol is, so it is organized, but it is spelled in British as S, but in American as Z. Okay, so we have seen a couple of words. We could also have OUR in British English and OR in American English. Note that every word on your left here, OUR, okay, is British English. YOR. For instance, the word color is spelled this way in British English, but in American English is spelled color this way. Just the same way the word favor is spelled FAVOUR in British English, but in American English is spelled FAVOR. We have the word labor too. We have the word honor. Honor. Okay, so, and there are numerous examples. Even the word parlor. The word parlor in British English is spelled this way. In American English, you spell parlor this way. Okay, even the word humor, and it's to make people laugh, so you have a good sense of humor. Okay, but in American English, in American English, it's spelled humor, Humor. So the words to your left are British, while the words to your right are American English spellings. Okay, then we move further to RE and ER. That's another difference. Americans spell with ER, the British spell with RE. We see words like center. Okay, we see words like the word center. This is British, but Americans spell their own center with the ER and not with the RE. The word meter is spelled RE, but in American English is spelled ER. Okay, so we can see that there is a whole lot difference in the British spelling from the American spelling. And we proceed further on AMME and AM, distinguishing spellings too. In the word program, okay, that is British English spelled PROGRAMME, but in American English they spelled PROGRAM. So sometimes when you spell this in your computer, which is an American spec most times, maybe Dell computers or HP computers, it highlights when you spell program as PROGRAMME. It highlights that, it shows a mark under the word. Okay, so like so if you right click, it will bring an American spelling for you, so you can choose to ignore it. Then it takes that off, the highlights sign off. Okay, we have it in the word kilogram too. You can see kilogram the way it's spelled, but in American English it's spelled this way. Okay, British spell kilogram as KILOGRAMME, but in American English it's spelled KILOGRAM. Are we following? Okay, and we move to the next, and that is OGUE in British English, spelled OG in American English. We have the word dialogue. Okay, to have a conversation with someone. Dialogue. Okay, a conversation between two or more people. Okay, but in American English it's spelled this way, DILOG. So they take off the UE. So sometimes you might see that in your computer, like I said, the word catalog also appears that way. As you can see, it appears that way. Okay? So before we proceed further on that, I believe you've been following so far our line of thought on the difference in the spellings in English. Alright, British English spellings are different from American English spellings. And don't forget that Gambia was colonized by Britain. Therefore, our official language in Gambia is English. Precisely British English. So when you have to spell the word specialization, you spell with S-A, not a Z-A. But you want to spell summarize, you spell S-U-M-M-A-R-I-S-E. But if you're using American English, you use S-U-M-M-A-R-I-Z-E. Now, oftentimes the challenge with students is this word consistency. is this word consistency. So we always advise to stick to the British English, but I'll still talk about this towards the end of my lesson. Okay, so I have the OUR in British English spelled as OR in American English. You can see a list of examples on your screen. Then we have the RE in British English as ER in the American English. Then we also have AMME in British English as AM in American English. Alright, then we have OGUE as OG in American English too, as in the word dialogue and in the word catalog. Okay, so we proceed. Sometimes we could have them in verbs, especially verbs which end in letter L. Especially verbs which end in letter L. They are not, most times in British English, we double the L and we add the morpheme either ed or ing. That's to show either the past tense or the present continuous tense. For instance, the verb travel. Okay, the verb travel. You can see that it ends with what? An L. So if you're going to take this to the past tense, it becomes traveled. Okay, traveled. But if you're going to take it to the present continuous tense, it becomes traveling. Okay, in British English. But in American English, it is spelled as traveled with a single L and traveling with a single L. Okay, so that's another difference between the British English. We even have it in the word equal. Okay, word equal. So the word here is equal. Okay, it's equal. So when you take it to the past tense, equaled, and the past tense, present continuous tense is equaling. Okay, but we don't have a word like that, so let's not dwell much on that. Then we have cancelling. Okay, in British English, double L. In American English, single L. Okay, so we can see more on that because some words have Latin origin. Okay, some words in English have Latin origin. Then we have some of them having Greek origin. For instance, the word bouquet is an English word. Let me write that. Bouquet. Okay, some have even French origin. The word bouquet is a French word, but it has a French origin rather, but it's an English word. A bouquet of flowers. A bouquet of flowers. So it's a French, it has a French origin, but we can see that it is an English word. Okay, so we have hemoglobin here. Okay, hemoglobin here is spelled HEMOGLOBIN, but in American English it is HEMOGLOBIN. Same word, diarrhea. Here you can see DIAERRHOEA, but in American English it is spelled as diarrhea. Okay, so the same word, encyclopedia, AE, in that we have EA. I'll be giving a list of other words, as they are used in British and American English. I'll give you, for instance, we have the word boot, the back of a car, the components at the back of a car. In British English, it's called boot, but in American English, it's called trunk. It's called trunk. Say, go to my trunk. Go and get your bags in the trunk. But in British English, you say, go and get your things in the boot. Okay. Then we also have the word lift in British English. I want to use the lift, that thing that takes you when you have a skyscraper or a tall building. Okay, you use the lift instead of the staircase. But in American English, we call that elevator. We call that elevator. Okay? Okay, then in British English, we use the word trouser. Trousers. Okay? But in American English, we call that pants. I know somebody will be stuck here like, really? Yes, Americans don't call theirs trousers. They say, go and get me my pants. But what we call pants in English has to do with an underwear you wear, you put on before putting on your trouser. Okay, but they call that word pants in American English. Then we have the word, let's say the word flat. Okay, your own flat. Say, I stay in my flat. I stay in my flat. But in American English, you call that your apartment. I know some of us have come across this word apartment. Okay, so that is you know, among, let me give you other words. In British English, we use the word holiday. Holiday. In American English, you use vacation. Use vacation. Then in British English, you use words like lorry to convey your commodity, your goods. But in America, we call that truck. Okay, we call that truck. Then in American English, in British English, you use something like a torch. Your torchlight. Okay, it's an alternative to your power. If you have power outage, okay, you turn on your torch. But in American English, we call that flashlight. Call that flashlight. Okay, in British English, we have the word petrol. Say, I want to go and buy petrol in the car. But in American English, you use the word gas. Okay, use the word gas, not the word petrol. So we have numerous word examples. So many things we say in British English is a whole lot different in American English. Okay, we could even have the letter. Let me put that on the screen. The letter Z. The letter Z. Okay, I know we are used to this letter Z. Okay, this letter Z. It is pronounced Z in British English, but it's pronounced Z in American English. Okay, we have numerous examples like that. So we have the word university in British English. We have the word college in American English. We have queue in British English. We have line in American English. We have trainers in British English. We have sneakers in American English. We have braces used to hold your trouser. Okay, that thing that suspends, that comes from, that used to hold your trouser, but in America we call that suspenders. So there are numerous examples of variety of words that are British English and American English. So with that, we've come to the end of today's lesson. Thank you for joining us in this lesson to refresh your memory on what we have just discussed today, which is majorly on spellings, the variety between British English and American English. I would advise you take the test that will appear on your screen.